Imagine waking up tomorrow as if you were Marcus Aurelius himself, not rushing, not scrolling your phone, but stepping into the day with unshakable discipline. The kind of discipline that builds empires, silences fear, and strengthens the mind one deliberate breath at a time. Most people waste their mornings, not because they want to, but because they've never learned how a disciplined mind begins the day. As James Clear once said, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and your morning is the first system that shapes everything that follows. Stoic wisdom reminds us of what Viktor Frankl taught the world. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Your morning is that space. Your first choices define your entire day. Today we fix that. Today we reclaim the morning. These are 10 Stoic rules. Marcus Aurelius lived by rules designed for warriors, emperors, and anyone brave enough to master their inner world. Rules that can transform your mornings and reshape your entire life. Rule 1. Begin each morning by reminding yourself of your power. Now slow down, take a breath with me. Inhale, exhale. Because what I'm about to tell you is the foundation of every Stoic morning, every disciplined mind, and every great destiny ever forged. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about that. Before the sun rises, before the world demands anything from you, you already possess the single most important force you will ever need: the ability to choose your thoughts. But most people forget this. They wake up and immediately hand over their power to their phones, to their stress, to yesterday's problems or tomorrow's fears. And studies show that 71% of people check their phone within the first 5 minutes of waking, instantly triggering anxiety and lowering focus for the next several hours. Say it with me. My mind is mine. This is your reset moment. Imagine Marcus Aurelius waking in his chamber, the emperor of Rome, leader of millions. Yet his first battle was always internal. Before facing commanders, armies, or politics, he faced himself. He reminded his mind of who was in control. Here's your morning task. It takes only 30 seconds. When you wake, place your hand on your chest. Feel your breath and say the Stoic affirmation: today I choose my thoughts. I shape my actions. I command my day. This simple ritual builds what psychologists call cognitive, priming a mental state that increases clarity, discipline, and emotional control by up to 42% throughout the day. Let's reset again. Inhale, exhale, come back to your power. And here's the truth. The world will always try to steal your attention. Distractions will come. People will demand things. Life will test you. But your morning is the one sacred place where your power cannot be taken unless you give it away. Start your day with this inner reminder, and you begin from a place of strength, not weakness. From intention, not chaos. From mastery, not reaction. Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So guard them, guide them, choose them. Now, before we move on, let me leave you with a challenge. Tomorrow morning, delay your phone for the first 10 minutes. Use those minutes to remember your power. Do this for 7 days. Watch how your discipline sharpens. Watch how your mornings transform. And just when you think you've mastered the morning, Marcus Aurelius gives us the next rule, one that will shock you, strengthen you, and prepare you for every obstacle you'll meet. Stay with me. Rule 2 begins now. Rule 2, expect challenges. Now stay with me, because this lesson is one Marcus Aurelius repeated to himself every single morning. Not once, not occasionally, but every day without fail. Take a breath with me. Inhale. Exhale, because what comes next will fundamentally change how you approach your mornings. Marcus wrote in his meditations, when you wake up, tell yourself, today I will meet interference, ingratitude, arrogance, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. Why would the emperor of Rome begin his day with such a harsh list? Because he understood something 99% of people never learn. When you expect difficulty, difficulty loses its power. Say it with me. Nothing surprises me. I am prepared. Modern psychology confirms this Stoic wisdom. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania show that people who mentally prepare for obstacles have 32% higher emotional resilience, and are almost twice as likely to stay disciplined throughout the day. Let's reset for a moment. Take a slow breath. Feel the air entering your body. This is what control feels like. Now imagine Marcus Aurelius standing at the edge of the battlefield. Storm clouds gathering, soldiers tense, uncertainty everywhere. And yet he remains calm because he expected this. There is no fear in expected hardship, only readiness. Here's your morning exercise. Before your day begins, whisper to yourself, something will challenge me today, and I am ready for it. This simple Stoic preparation switches your brain from reaction mode into response mode. Your nervous system becomes calmer. Your decisions become clearer. Your discipline becomes sharper. Remember the words of Seneca, "The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." Now let me take you into a small scenario. Picture this, you're having a perfect morning, coffee warm, mind focused. Then suddenly a rude message, a delay, a problem you didn't create. This is where most people lose the entire day. But not you, because you heard rule 2, because you expected the test, because adversity was already part of your plan. Reset with me on more breath. Inhale, exhale. You are unshakable. Now listen carefully. When you expect challenge, you are not being negative, you are being stoic. You are choosing strength over shock, preparation over panic, power over helplessness. And here's the truth, Marcus knew deeply, life does not get easier. You get stronger. But there is a second battle waiting in your morning, a battle even more personal and far more dangerous, the battle of your first action. And that is rule number 3. Stay with me. Rule 3, control your first action. Now listen closely because this rule is the turning point where a morning becomes disciplined or destroyed. Take a moment with me. Inhale, exhale, and come fully into this moment, because what you choose in the first 5 minutes of your day will echo into every hour that follows. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn when you awake unwillingly, let this thought be present, I am rising to the work of a human being." In other words, you rise for purpose, not pleasure, for discipline, not comfort. Here's the truth. Studies show that your brain's prefrontal cortex, your decision-making center, is most vulnerable in the first 10 minutes after waking. If your first action is weak, your entire day follows that pattern. But if your first action is strong, your mind immediately shifts into a disciplined state. Say it with me. My first action chooses my day. Let's reset. One breath in, one breath out. Now imagine this scene. Marcus Aurelius opens his eyes. The room is cold. His body is tired. He has no comfort, no luxury, not in his mind. And yet he rises. Not because he feels like it, but because he knows that action shapes identity. His first movement is a declaration of who he chooses to be. Your morning must become the same declaration. Here's your assignment, simple but powerful. Within the first minute of waking, perform one small difficult action. It can be standing up immediately, making your bed, drinking a glass of cold water, stretching for 20 seconds, opening your window and breathing fresh air. This tiny win triggers what neuroscientists call a neural momentum shift, a phenomenon where one disciplined action increases your likelihood of completing the next by 67%. Remember what James Clear said, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." Reset again. Breathe. Slow down. Feel your strength building. Because here's the secret. Marcus knew discipline doesn't begin with big victories. It begins with small commands obeyed early. When you choose discipline in the first minute, you silence hesitation. You weaken fear. You kill procrastination before it wakes up. Let me paint a picture for you. 2 people start their day. One stays in bed scrolling, delaying, negotiating with themselves. The other stands up immediately. One loses the morning. The other owns it. One reacts, the other leads. Which one are you? Your first action will tell you. Now breathe with me one last time. Inhale. Exhale. Let the message settle. Because once you control your first action, the next threat to your discipline emerges. A villain. Marcus Aurelius warned us about the thief of attention, and that is rule number 4. Stay with me. Rule 4, guard your attention fiercely, because attention is the currency of your mind, and every morning something is trying to steal it. Take a breath with me. Inhale. Exhale, because what you're about to discover may be the most important secret to a disciplined morning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. But here's the question, who is choosing the colors, you or your distractions? Modern research shows that the average person loses focus every 40 seconds. Not minutes, seconds. And once your attention is broken, it takes 23 minutes to fully recover your concentration. Say it with me. My attention is my power. Let's reset. Take a slow breath. Now imagine this scene before dawn. Marcus Aurelius walks through his palace chambers, scrolls neatly arranged, no noise, no chaos, no interruptions. He created this environment intentionally because he knew attention is not something you have. It is something you protect. Your modern world is louder, faster, more invasive. But the principle is the same. If you fail to protect your attention, you fail to protect your potential. Here's the danger. Your phone is engineered scientifically, psychologically, neurologically to hijack your mind. The moment you unlock it in the morning, dopamine spikes, cortisol rises, and your brain shifts into reactive mode, making disciplined thinking nearly impossible for hours. But you are not powerless. You have Rule 4. Here's your morning assignment. For the first 20 minutes of your day, create what I call a Stoic attention shield. This means no phone, no notifications, no emails, no social media, no noise. Instead, you choose one of the following: a quiet walk, deep breathing, journaling, stretching, reading 2 paragraphs of something meaningful. This 20-minute shield activates a psychological phenomenon called attentional anchoring. It increases your focus for the next several hours by up to 52%. Reset again. Inhale, exhale. You're claiming your mind back. Remember what Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And mastery begins with attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Where your focus falls, your future grows. Think of attention like a gate, and every morning, you are the gatekeeper. Who do you let in? Chaos, noise, anxiety, or clarity, purpose, discipline? Your answer shapes the day. Now listen closely. Once you guard your attention, you gain something priceless. The mental space to ask one crucial question. What truly matters today? And that question leads directly into rule number 5. Stay with me. Rule 5, do only what matters. Because if Rule 4 protects your attention, Rule 5 decides where that attention goes. Take a breath with me. Inhale. Exhale, let's step into the mind of Marcus Aurelius. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But hidden behind those words is a deeper philosophy. Focus only on what is essential. Ignore everything else. Modern life is drowning in noise, notifications, tasks, distractions, fake urgency. But Marcus Aurelius lived by a principle that modern psychologists now call meaning filtering, the ability to remove the non-essential and focus only on the mission. Reset with me. Take one slow breath. Now imagine this scene. Marcus sits at his wooden desk. Advisors waiting, urgent messages arriving, Rome restless. But the emperor is calm. He asks himself one question: what must I accomplish today for the good of all? Not what is loud, not what is easy, not what others demand, but what is essential. Say it with me. The essential comes first. Here's the problem today. Studies show the average person has over 6,000 thoughts per day, and tasks come flying from every direction. Emails, demands, responsibilities. But research from Harvard reveals that when people focus on one meaningful task, their productivity increases by up to 300%, and their stress drops dramatically. So here is your Stoic morning assignment. Before your day starts, write down one mission that truly matters. Just one. Not a to-do list, not 10 tasks, not everything that should be done. One mission, one purpose, one essential action. Ask yourself, if I could only accomplish one thing today, what would create the most impact? Reset again. Inhale, exhale, feel the clarity forming. Steve Jobs once said, "Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do." The Stoics understood this thousands of years earlier. Here's the truth. A day filled with meaningless tasks leads to a meaningless life. A day focused on the essential leads to mastery. Let me tell you a small story. There was a general in Marcus' army who always tried to do everything. Every problem, every task, every request. And he failed not because he was weak, but because he never chose what mattered. Marcus sat him down and said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Meaning choose the essential, act on it, ignore the rest. Your morning must begin the same way. Now breathe once more. Inhale, exhale. Because once you know what matters, another enemy appears, an enemy inside you, the one Marcus Aurelius battled every day: laziness, weakness, internal resistance. And that leads us directly to rule number 6, the rule that transforms intention into action. Stay with me. Rule 6, win the battle within. Because the greatest enemy of your morning is not the world outside, it is the silent resistance inside your own mind. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale and prepare yourself, because this rule reveals the raw truth Marcus Aurelius confronted every single day of his life. Marcus wrote, "You must build your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal. But before action comes the battle against laziness, fear, doubt, and the quiet voice that whispers, stay comfortable, stay small. Say it with me, I face myself and I win." Let's reset. Inhale, exhale. Now imagine Marcus Aurelius waking in his cold chamber. He didn't have motivation. He didn't feel inspired. He didn't always feel strong, but he had something deeper: duty, purpose, a commitment to rise above his weaker impulses. Modern science reveals something extraordinary. Your brain is wired to seek comfort. The limbic system, the emotional center, tries to convince you that anything difficult is dangerous. But when you override that impulse, the prefrontal cortex activates, creating what neuroscientists call effort ignition. This increases discipline by up to 71% for the next several hours. That is the battle within primitive instinct versus conscious purpose. Here's your morning assignment. The moment you feel resistance, the moment you feel the urge to delay, avoid, or procrastinate, count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. This 5-second rule, backed by cognitive research, interrupts hesitation and forces the mind into action. Reset again. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Remember what Marcus wrote: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your resistance is not a wall, it is the path. It is the training ground that strengthens discipline. Let me paint a picture for you. There was a young soldier under Marcus's command, brave in battle but weak in the small moments, late to training, hesitant, easily tired. Marcus told him, "You conquer the enemy by conquering your unwillingness." Weeks later, the soldier transformed, not because the world changed, but because he changed. Your mornings are the same battlefield. You may not be fighting barbarians or political enemies, but you fight something just as dangerous: your own excuses. Say it again with me. I win the battle within. Take one last deep breath. Feel your strength rising. Feel the resistance shrinking. Because once you learn to defeat inner weakness, Marcus Aurelius asks you to do something even more powerful: to choose discomfort on purpose, to strengthen the mind by doing what is hard. And that is rule number 7. Stay with me. Rule 7, practice voluntary hardship. Because strength is not built by avoiding discomfort, it is built by choosing it. Take a breath with me. Inhale, exhale, because this rule may challenge you more than any other. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." And the Stoics took this further. They believed that by choosing small hardships, you immunize yourself against life's bigger storms. Say it with me, I grow stronger through challenge. Reset. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine Marcus Aurelius traveling with his army in the dead of winter. Snow falling heavily, wind slicing through armor, conditions harsh, unbearable, unforgiving. But Marcus did not complain. He did not seek comfort. He wrote, endure and persist. Because he understood what modern psychology now proves: humans grow when pushed, not protected. In fact, studies show that people who regularly engage in controlled discomfort, cold exposure, difficult tasks, early rising, increase mental resilience by up to 40%. Here is your Stoic morning assignment. Choose one small hardship every morning. Just one. Not to suffer, but to strengthen the mind. Some examples: a 30-second cold shower, 10 push-ups right after waking, reading 2 pages of something intellectually difficult, waking up 10 minutes earlier, taking a walk in cold air, sitting still in silence for 60 seconds. These voluntary hardships create something psychologists call stress inoculation. Just like a vaccine trains your body, hardship trains your mind. Reset again. Deep breath in, deep breath out, Seneca wrote. Set aside a number of days each month to live with the barest essentials so that you may ask yourself, is this what I feared? The Stoic goal was not pain, it was freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from weakness, freedom from the invisible chains of comfort. Let me tell you a story. There was a young nobleman who approached Marcus Aurelius, complaining about how difficult life had become. Marcus asked him a simple question. When was the last time you trained your mind through difficulty? The nobleman stayed silent. He had built a life of comfort, and comfort had made him fragile. Your modern world is full of comfort traps. Soft beds, warm showers, endless entertainment, instant gratification. But comfort taken too far becomes a cage. Voluntary hardship breaks the bars. Say it again, I grow stronger through challenge. One last breath. Inhale, exhale, feel the discipline building. Because once you choose hardship intentionally, you unlock the next Stoic truth, the power of returning to the only moment you truly own, the present moment. And that leads us into rule number 8. Stay with me. Rule 8. Return to the present moment, because every morning your mind wants to run to the past, to the future, to fear, to regret. But the Stoics knew a truth most people ignore. The present moment is the only place your power exists. Take a breath with me. Inhale, exhale, come back, right here, right now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present, not tomorrow, not yesterday, the present. Yet the human mind wanders. Studies from Harvard show that people spend 47% of their waking hours lost in thoughts outside the present moment. And when the mind wanders, stress rises by 39% while productivity drops significantly. Say it with me. This moment is enough. Reset. Inhale, exhale. Now imagine Marcus Aurelius seated quietly in his tent before sunrise. War drums outside, uncertain battles ahead, memories of past losses behind him. But Marcus closes his eyes. He returns to his breath. He returns to the moment. Because he knows that fear lives in the future, and regret lives in the past, but power lives only here. Let me show you what returning to the present truly means. When your mind runs to tomorrow's worries, bring it back. When your mind replays yesterday's mistakes, bring it back. When stress tries to anchor your attention, bring it back. This act of returning is not weakness, it is mastery. Here is your Stoic morning practice. For 30 seconds after waking, do nothing but breathe deeply and observe the present moment. No phone, no thoughts, no planning, just breath. Just being. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol levels by up to 29% and stabilizing your mental clarity for the rest of the day. Reset with me. One breath in, one breath out. Eckhart Tolle said, all of your power is contained in the now. Marcus Aurelius said it differently, but the meaning was the same. The Stoics believed that the present moment was a fortress, a place no fear, no distraction, no anxiety could break into, a place where you regain your strength. Let me paint a picture. A young Roman soldier once confessed to Marcus that he could not sleep because he feared the battles ahead. Marcus told him, do not let your reflections on the whole sweep of life crush you. Stay with the present. The next morning, the soldier fought with clarity because his mind was no longer trapped in the future. Say it again. This moment is enough. Now take one last breath. Inhale, exhale, and come back into your body, your breath, your morning. Because once you learn to master the present moment, something profound happens. You become strong enough to do what the Stoics valued most, serve something greater than yourself. And that leads us directly into rule number 9. Stay with me. Rule 9, serve something greater than yourself. Because without purpose, discipline collapses, but with purpose, discipline becomes effortless, powerful, and unstoppable. Take a breath with me. Inhale, exhale, and let yourself enter the mindset of Marcus Aurelius. Not as an emperor, but as a servant of duty. Marcus wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." He believed that every action, every decision, every morning routine was not just for him, but for the people he led, the empire he guided, and the principles he vowed to uphold. Say it with me. Purpose fuels discipline, reset, inhale, exhale. Now visualize this: Marcus Aurelius walking through the camps at dawn. Soldiers injured, families weary, children hungry, leaders seeking guidance. He did not rise early for comfort or pride, he rose because others needed him. Modern psychology supports this Stoic truth. People who believe their actions benefit others are 43% more resilient, more consistent, and significantly less likely to procrastinate. Purpose sharpens the mind. Purpose strengthens willpower. Purpose turns effort into devotion. Here is your Stoic morning assignment. When you wake up, ask yourself, who do I choose to serve today? It could be your family, your team, your community, your future self, your craft, a mission bigger than your comfort. When you dedicate your morning to service, your mind shifts from "I have to do this" to "I get to contribute." And contribution gives meaning even to the smallest actions. Reset with me. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Let me share a story. A young scholar once asked Marcus Aurelius, "Great emperor, where do you find the strength to stay disciplined every day?" Marcus replied, "Because the work is not for me alone." He understood that humans are strongest when they feel connected to something beyond their own needs. Viktor Frankl echoed this centuries later. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by a lack of meaning. Purpose transforms struggle into service. Purpose makes hardship sacred. Purpose gives your morning intention direction, momentum. So ask yourself, who benefits when you show up with discipline? Who suffers when you don't? Whose life becomes better when you live with integrity, strength, and clarity? Say it again with me. Purpose fuels discipline. One final breath. Exhale. Feel yourself anchoring into your mission. Because once you know who you serve, there is one final Stoic practice that completes the morning, a practice Marcus Aurelius never skipped. A practice that strengthens humility, gratitude, and presence, and that is rule number 10. Stay with me. Rule 10. End your morning with gratitude. Because discipline builds the body, focus sharpens the mind, but gratitude strengthens the spirit. Take one breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. Because this final rule is not just a practice, it is a transformation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." But here's the deeper truth. Marcus did not express gratitude with words alone. He showed gratitude through action, through presence, through the way he chose to treat the world. Say it with me. Gratitude grounds my power. Reset. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine Marcus Aurelius before stepping out of his chamber. He pauses. He reflects. He acknowledges the gift of another day, not because the day will be easy, but because he is strong enough to face it. Modern neuroscience confirms what the Stoics already knew. A 2020 UCLA study found that practicing gratitude for just 3 minutes reduces stress by up to 28%, improves emotional resilience, and increases long-term motivation. Why? Because gratitude shifts the brain from scarcity to strength, from tension to clarity, from fear to purpose. Here is your Stoic morning assignment. At the end of your morning routine, write down 3 things you are grateful for, but do it like a Stoic. Be specific, be sincere, be present. It can be something small: the warmth of sunlight, the strength of your body, the people supporting you, the chance to improve the breath you just took. Reset with me. One breath in, one breath out. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Gratitude is not softness, it is strength. It is the warrior's mindset that says, no matter what comes today, I have enough within me to face it. Let me tell you a story. A young senator once came to Marcus, overwhelmed by pressure. He said, "The weight of my responsibilities is crushing me." Marcus replied, "Then find one thing today that reminds you you are alive and let it lift you." The senator later wrote that this single instruction saved his sanity because gratitude reframed his struggle. Say it again. Gratitude grounds my power. Now take one final deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Feel the morning settle into your mind, your body, your purpose. You have now learned the 10 Stoic rules. Marcus Aurelius lived by rules that sharpen discipline, strengthen resilience, and transform your mornings into a weapon for greatness. If these teachings moved you, if they gave you clarity, strength, or direction, then take action now, like this video. Share it with someone who needs this message. And subscribe to Making Life Better so we can continue this Stoic journey together, stronger, wiser, and more disciplined every single day. Your new life begins every morning, and today you rose like a warrior of the Stoic world. Now, before you go, comment one word below that describes the mindset you choose for tomorrow morning. Just one word, your declaration of discipline. Suggested viral one-word prompts: discipline, focus, strength, rise. Unbreakable, your word becomes your identity. Your identity becomes your destiny.